big hello and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. We Indians love our hot cup of tea and it's incomplete without a pack of Parle G. Well, recently this biscuit maker Parle Products crossed $2 billion in annual revenues during FY22, becoming the first packaged goods company in India to breach that mark. Well, what led to that gigantic victory, and is this kind of victory sustainable given the inflationary pressures and of course all the macroeconomic pressures that companies are dealing with currently? Well, I'm joined by Mayank Shah, Senior Category Lead at Parle Products, along with his colleague Krishna Buddha, Senior Category Head Marketing. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Truly a pleasure having you on Brand Equity. And first up, many congratulations on this big feat.
Thank you, and thank you for having us on the show.
Thank you, Sonali.
It's interesting at a time when, we did see a bounce back of sorts after COVID. I mean, not after COVID, but, once the lockdowns were eased and things have come back to normal, we saw buoyancy in the market. But correct me if I'm wrong, all, companies in this particular sector, consumer packaged companies are facing inflationary pressures, are not as buoyant as they were, let's say, 6 months ago in terms of their outlook. We're having some rural woes. We're having people down trading. So what led to your revenues breaching the $2 billion mark?
I think the most important reason for us reaching this mark was the kind of acceptance that our brands had, even in the times or tougher times. Firstly, the category in which we are operating. So if you're talking about biscuits and snacks, especially biscuits, a significant part of our revenues come from biscuit. If you look at biscuits, then even the costliest biscuit, retails at about 700-800 rupees a kg. And when you talk about the absolute price, if you talk about even that 700-800 rupee kg biscuit, when you are buying a 50 or a 75 gram pack, it would typically cost you anywhere between 50 or 60 rupees kind of thing. So that makes it extremely affordable for Indian consumers. Add to it our own philosophy of providing great value across the spectrum of society. So it's not that we are not into premium products. We are into premium products, but we provide a great value there as well. Not to forget, the value products that we have, be it Parle G, Crackjack, Monaco, Happy or 2020, we provide great value there as well. That was one of the reasons why we saw consumers not moving away from the category. In fact, this was one category which was ideally lapped up in the last year when, there was inflation. Inflation, of course, was there, but typically consumers look at a relative, price hike. So they saw better value coming in from biscuits than any other snack available in the market. If you talk about any other snack available in the market, they are typically priced at 200-300 rupees per kg plus, whereas most biscuits are priced anywhere between 100 to 200 rupees per kg.
Okay. So if you are saying that if you've given me the entire biscuit pricing, then technically every biscuit maker in the country should have breached this mark, right?
Yeah, but product mix changes, and it's not just about the MRPs. At that MRP, what is the kind of value that you generate for consumer is something that's very important. So the quality, the weight that you are giving in the pack, everything matters.
Tell me something, and either of you can take this. While you have breached the 2 billion mark, and you've posted a 9% increase in your net sales, why is it that the profit slipped by 81%?
Well, so I think, it would not be right, or it would not be ideal to compare our profits with the previous year. We are talking about here, the year in contention is 21-22. That's a post-COVID year. 2021 was the COVID year, where if we look at most companies made, significant profits. Those profits were one-off. They were exceptional. The reason being, there were lockdowns. People were not traveling. Everybody in the company was, stationed at one place. So there were no cost of traveling and other things. There were no schemes which were given food was, one category which was doing very well during lockdown. Packaged food was really doing very well. So there were no schemes, there were no promotions which were given at that time. All put together, improved profitability significantly, not just for us, but for the entire, category, or for that matter, entire foods, packaged foods as a category. That was 2021. If you look at 21-22, I think it was fiercely competitive. There were many companies who were literally looking at going out of business. They came back with vengeance. It was question of their survival. So they spent a huge amount on coming back. And when you are supposed to maintain your share, you're also supposed to spend accordingly. I mean, be it your SOV or SOM, to manage your SOM share of market, you need to improve your SOV and SOE as in share of expenditure. That was the reason why most companies spent in last year, I'm talking about 21-22, more than they would typically spend in an average or a regular year.
Sure, sure. Tell me, what are you seeing right now in terms of the environment? We know for a fact that the rural market is suffering because the rural markets are seeing credit and liquidity pressures, and of course the rural wages are also now negative. How is the rural economy performing for Parle Products?
Yeah. So if you talk about rural economy, we've had a fantastic monsoon. So there is quite a bit of optimism, despite the fact that during COVID times there were a lot of swaps given to people, specifically I'm saying in the hinterland, right from providing grains to various schemes in terms of MNREGA, etc. So having that still having dried, I would say, with a good monsoon, we are quite optimistic about rural responding extremely well for most of our brands. So we are typically seeing a very good offtake for brands which are like which for SKUs particularly below 10 rupee price point, for 5 rupees, 10 rupee price point, we are seeing very, very good reception from these smaller markets. So with that outlook, we are quite optimistic that things will really pan out well. There are some exceptions, a couple of geographies where there has been sort of deficit in terms of monsoon, and that might show some impact for sure. But most of the geographies, we're expecting it to be quite well receptive for our products.
I know that you have, you've also expanded your, your portfolio with G oats and berries and, Parle G, crispy cinnamon, all of that launched, in July of this year. We're sitting now, in December. So you can give me a sense of how these products have performed. And I'm assuming these are essentially catering to, the urban consumer.
So they are catering to urban as well as semi-urban consumers, especially products like oats and berries and cinnamon are also targeted at semi-urban consumers. We also introduced Parle G cookies and Parle G Royal. Parle G Royal is primarily meant for Parle G fans who love to, have really a mouthful of Parle G. So it's a 12-gram big chunky biscuit, which the kind of initial response that we have got from the market is that consumers have loved, especially those fans of Parle G. They have loved that product. So there have been a couple of launches like that in recent past. Most of them targeted at urban India. And a good thing that's happening with urban India is that after 2 years of muted growth, after 2 years of mostly being in-house, restrained being in-house, people are going out and spending. So if you look at the festive season that just concluded, I'm talking about Diwali. So right from probably Independence Day or Raksha Bandhan to Diwali has been really a very good time. Now we are moving towards Christmas, but festive season has been excellent. We've seen, really good sales happening during this festive times. And I think there is a bit of, revenge buying phenomenon also, which is somewhere playing a role. So we're seeing consumers going all out and making purchases, especially urban India.
that's very interesting to hear, because I was under the belief that because of inflation burning a hole in the pockets of India's lower income household, consumption was taking a backseat, whether it be like crackers or clothes to very basic household items. They've been spending, lower middle classes have been spending very little in the last few months. And while consumer companies have been seeing sales and volume growth in their premium products, volume in value buys have been truncating. Wouldn't you say that's true?
Discretionary is affected, discretionary categories. And partially, yes, I think, there's been a slowdown in growth rates. So growth rates have tapered. It's still growing. And I'm talking about volume growth rates. Value growth rates have been, robust. So we're still talking about mid double digit, so about 12 to 15% growth across various categories. But that's in value terms. In volume terms, we are seeing a mid single digit growth, anywhere between 6-7% kind of thing. So yes, that growth rate in terms of volume has tapered. But as far as value is concerned, we're still seeing robust growth happening. So if one wants to make a statement saying that growth primarily is driven by value, yeah, to an extent it's true.
We saw a lot of, because companies were under intense pressure, we saw a lot of price hikes, and sometimes we saw, cuts in grammage. With all that oscillation that's happened to and fro, what is Parle's take now in terms of dealing with all your pressures that you're facing? Are we going to continue to see this oscillation of price hikes and grammage cuts, or is that all done for?
As of now, as we speak, I think, there is a respite. While sugar and wheat prices are going up, edible oil prices are, they're cooled from their all-time high. They're significantly down from there. And we expect them to remain at those levels, at least for the foreseeable future. So at least for next 2 quarters, we are not expecting a major increase happening in edible oil. Sugar and wheat, especially wheat, may go up, but I think the dip in prices of edible oil will, compensate. So net, if I talk about the entire basket of commodities which go into our categories, we are not seeing a significant increase in input cost in the coming 2 quarters. So we expect prices to remain stable, at least for next 2 quarters. Last year, as you rightly said, was very, very challenging, not just for us, but I think, for most players in the industry. Krishna, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah, true. I think, yes. So we've taken all the necessary price increases in the past 2 quarters. And now input prices have sort of tapered, and yeah, most of them are quite in the as per forecasted budgets and all. And so we're not really looking at any further price increases. Now the entire focus is on increasing the top line. And say, for example, so particularly as far as potato chips as a category is concerned, so that's also we are seeing a new crop coming in, which is leading to lowering of input prices further, and that would also help us grab a better share in the market.
Right. I see Parle Products attempting to, premiumize their portfolio as well. While of course you cater to mass India, I think the mission now is also to have a premium offering. Having said that, Parle G is meant for one and all. There is no mass and class there. Everybody enjoys Parle G, and most of your products have been, which caters, through India, all of India. Would you say that the Parle G legacy would come in the way of your positioning of premiumization?
Not really. In fact, we started this about 3 years back. We have an entire range under our brand Parle Platina, where we have, all our premium products. So be it Milano, be it Hide and Seek, be it Black Bourbon, be it Fab. These are all, premium products that we have launched in last few years, and they've been very, very well received. So I don't think, when you talk about Parle G's legacy, it has any bearing on the launches of these new products. In fact, what really happens is, when you talk about Parle Platina, there is a certain amount of assurance that, it's coming from a brand like Parle, where they are assured of a certain level of quality and, of course, even value. So while, when we talk about premium products, let's not forget even, the Indian, if I'm talking about affluent class, even they are value conscious. They might not be price conscious, but they are definitely value conscious. And the kind of value that they get out of Parle's premium products, especially the Platina range, is amazing. Also, there's some great innovations out there. So if I'm talking about Milano Centerville cookie, which is a dark cocoa cookie, or a specialty offering like Black Bourbon, which is a premium bourbon with dark cocoa in it, or a chocolate chip cookie and cream like hide and seek creme. These are very unique products, and they don't really have any competition in the market. So these are certain very innovative products or innovations which are driving growth at the upper end of the market for Parle.
Right. I'm sure you've been asked this question several times, but the rumor has it that you are, in advanced talks with a Polish biscuit brand. If I'm not wrong, it's called Dr. Gerard. Would you be in a position to comment on where those discussions have gone?
No, so I think, there was some misunderstanding somewhere. About a year and a half back, we were in talks with them for them to make, products for us as a third party. In fact, in India, we have 132 odd facilities which manufacture for us. So they're third party, contractors who make for us under our guidance, under our supervision, and with our own. So they are basically converters. So we were talking to them about, a year and a half back for making our products out there. So they would be making our brands and our products there. So it was more about, a third party arrangement where they will be making or contract manufacturing for us out there. But that was it. There were no talks about any, buyout or any acquisition or anything.
But is that something you'll be open to as you look to ramp up your premium offerings?
So we have significant, basket of premium offerings today as we speak. And we would be, it's not that, it depends on what kind of targets are there. We keep looking out, for opportunities. In fact, it's in public domain that we had invested some time back in a startup, which is into niche products like energy bars and muesli and oats. So, we keep investing in businesses where we see some kind of synergy. So it's not completely off the radar, but we're currently not actively pursuing anything.
Tell me, have you seen any significant change in the consumer's behavior, now in the post-COVID era? Because when we were going through COVID, a lot of people talked about habit change, permanent change, all of that. Has that actually happened in a sustained manner that is notable, or have we just gone back to our old ways and we are back to our habits of 2019?
Well, I think, yes, I think there has been, in certain ways, yes, there have been certain changes, and in certain ways, not really. I think during COVID times, a lot of people did get impacted. So job losses have been very, very common, certain industries, but at the same time, there have been certain other industries which have done exceedingly well during these times. And what we've noticed actually is during those 2 odd years, a lot of people actually had gone to their villages or hometowns, and so basically people who have completely urban mindset but residing in a smaller town has led them to behave exactly they were behaving in the large towns. So so which also we saw in terms of better numbers coming from tier 2, tier 3 towns and smaller places as well, where the propensity to spend has been significantly higher. So that's been one change that is clearly noticed. The other also in terms of like I said, because of the restrictions that generally people had, people have really gone all out and have started purchases across categories. I think that's clearly evident. Say for example, even modern retail for that matter. So during COVID times, there were times that modern retail was on and off at times. But now modern trade now prevailing there, and we've seen uh, consumers lapping up really large packs. And actually, in the last 24 odd months, we've also increased our presence over these large packs, and consumers seem to be lapping. So, which means the depth of consumption has gone up. So the overall intent of consumers to consume more has risen significantly in the past few years.
Two
Right.
other trends that we've seen also are one is the way they buy. So e-commerce has gained significantly in last 2 years. In fact, a Nielsen study about 3-4 years back said that for e-commerce to reach a 10% contribution mark to the total FMCG category would take about 12 to 13 years. So they were expecting it to happen by 2030. As we speak, it's almost about 4% kind of thing. So 4% contribution of total FMCG today is coming from e-com. The entire COVID part catalyzed the adoption of e-commerce. So that's one significant change, and we're not seeing people going back to or reducing their purchases from e-com only because now the malls have opened up. So buying still is there, but I think e-com's share in total buying is increasing. It's on a growth path. Secondly, on consumption, I think if we talk about health biscuits and stuff like that, there was a propensity to consume more of healthy stuff during COVID. But we've seen that tapering a bit post COVID. I think old habits refuse to die. So people are moving towards indulgence products today, and probably the expectation that was there that people will continue with healthier lifestyles. Not that everybody has moved back to indulging, but I think a significant part of consumers have moved back to indulgence products, and the kind of growth that was seen during COVID of healthier options, healthy products, natural products and stuff like that, somewhere I think has tapered a bit.
Has the marketing mix really changed now that we're back, to normalcy? Has the marketing, because people have to go back to work, there's not so much screen time like you had when there were lockdowns, when there was a big spike in OTT. But things have become normal. Lives are busy. So has our marketing mix really changed, or have we gone back to 2019 the mix?
No, there is a significant change. There has been a significant change in favor of digital because we know. So everyone's got like the same 24 hours, and earlier one would wait, one would run home for a 9 o'clock show, and so this was so critical. But today I can at my leisure at 12 o'clock I can watch a certain show. So video on demand is the name of the game, and individual content consumption is risen significantly. So it becomes extremely important for our strategy also to get aligned with the changing consumer preferences. So be it gaming, be it OTT for that matter. So these are sort of new mix. Besides, social has always been there. So social media is also consuming a lot of our time actually. So our time for television is sort of definitely getting compromised. I'm saying generally for a viewer, largely on a large scale, especially in the urban markets, and it's slowly and steadily percolating. And we've seen the advent of 5G now, and this is bound to increase in the next couple of years. And as a result of which, our media mix is definitely getting skewed a lot more towards digital. And yeah, while TV still remains our main stakeholder.
More power to both of you and more power to Parle Products. Many congratulations once again on breaching that $2 billion mark. And here's to having even better results and even better interactions with Parle Product, showing us the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you so much.